Hello and welcome to Accounting Information Systems. So in this lecture video, I'm going to go over Canvas. I'm also going to go over pretty quickly the syllabus, just kind of hit some highlights of the syllabus. And I'm going to show you how to register for Connect because our textbook goes on Connect. And then conclude after that, and I'll post this up in an announcement, post this link to this video in our announcement for the welcome to the course, okay? So to start off with, here's our page on Canvas, and everything that you are going to need to have is going to be located on Canvas, okay? Now, with Canvas, some of the areas that I will use the announcements. I'll use the grades to show your grades, but I will be doing frequent announcements because this course is going to be 100% online. So expect to see announcements from me several times per week, okay? So I'll be using the announcements quite a bit. I'll be using your grades to show your grades. And then I also use modules, and then I'll also use conferences, okay? And then of course I'll use Zoom. Our first class, okay, will be in Zoom. Subsequent classes I'll probably do in conferences, which is right here in Canvas, okay? And so you'll just be invited to join a conference in Canvas. I'll probably do that rather than Zoom, just because the conferences, the recordings, I think will stay up there longer. And I think it also takes up less bandwidth, all right? But the first session I want to do in Zoom just because I can, just to kind of get to know you, all right? So the other thing is, so just to kind of recap, I'll use announcements, I'll use grades, I'm going to use modules, and I'll use conferences. I use modules quite a bit. So this is where all the content is for the course, including, as you can see right over here, the schedule and then the syllabus, and then I also have some lecture videos, for group member evaluation form. I have some term paper resources, then some topic areas. I have some fundamentals here on Excel, some stuff that we'll do. Some other stuff on spreadsheet controls, controlling spreadsheets, some of your projects. So without going into too much detail right now, everything that you need to know is on modules. Some of you may be used to going to files for some of your other classes, but don't go to files because you could find a lot of old files, outdated files, some syllabi from 5 years ago. So it could confuse you if you go to files rather than to modules. You want to go to modules because that's where all the most recent stuff is for the course, all right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the syllabus. And so I've taught AIS for a while, and the thing about AIS is if you ask different accounting AIS professors, what do you teach in your AIS class? You can get a lot of different answers. So the joke is if you ask 5 different AIS professors, what do you teach? You get 7 different answers. Some people teach a lot of data flow diagramming. Some people do a lot of relational databases. Some people focus on Excel. Some people focus on internal controls. Some people focus on IT audit. Some people do the systems understanding aid. I mean, there's a lot of variance in what's taught. So this time, I want to teach it with a data analytics focus. And why do I want to do that? Because data analytics is, first of all, it's very interesting. And second, it is really becoming important for accountants. I've read some articles recently that some of the big 4 accounting firms are actually starting to hire more information systems and data analytics grads rather than accounting grads. And so I think the reason for this is that accounting grads are they just don't have the knowledge base. And so I'm trying to remedy that by teaching you some data analytics for accounting. Now, we're not going to be going in and doing some R and Python and NoSQL kind of stuff in this class, but we will do some basic analytics in Excel, and then also look at some Microsoft Access, and then we'll also look at Tableau. Okay, so when you look at the required materials right over here, you have to purchase this data analytics for accounting. It's an ebook, and it'll be available on the Canvas page for the course, okay? So it'll be available there. It's part of inclusive access, so you should have access to that. I will have some additional readings assigned by me, and I'll tell you about those as we go throughout the course. You do need Microsoft Office, and specifically you need Excel and Word and Access and PowerPoint. So for those of y'all who are Mac users, okay, you can use Excel on a Mac. I'm pretty sure you can use PowerPoint and Word. The problem comes in with Microsoft Access. Okay, so Microsoft Access is not going to run very easily on a Mac. So there are some workarounds that you can use. You can use OpenOffice. That would be one option, which is, and OpenOffice will install a version or a type of Microsoft Access database that's free, but it's not exactly like Microsoft Access. So what I would really encourage you to do is to have a PC, have access to a PC with Microsoft Office, because we will go over Access in this class. Again, if it's not possible, there are some workarounds. Like I said, you can install OpenOffice, or you might be able to do a virtual machine, but it is going to be a little bit trickier. And so that's why I'm really encouraging you to have a PC running Microsoft Access, okay? And of course, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. All right. The other one that we'll be using is Tableau, and this is data visualization software, and we'll be using this towards the end of the semester, probably, starting in November or so. We'll start looking at Tableau, but it lets you do some really nifty graphs and visualize data, which is important for data analytics. And so we'll do that, like I said, probably starting in November or so. So we do have a little bit of time before we have to install Tableau. But with the Excel, make sure you can run Excel, and then probably in a couple weeks from now, we're going to start getting into Microsoft Access. So you do have a little bit of time to make sure you can get your hands on Microsoft Access, okay? So when you look at the course description and learning objectives, make sure that you understand how to use data analytics. You can apply data analytics to all the different subdomains in accounting. We can look at it in terms of auditing, financial accounting, tax, and also managerial accounting. Well, my favorite is managerial accounting. So we're going to go to a deep dive on how we can apply data analytics to managerial accounting, okay? So we're going to be looking at kind of overview of data analytics, talking about some cleaning data issues. We'll also look at visualization of data, but then we're also to go into some deep dives on how to apply analytics to managerial accounting. The other thing is that you're going to have to make sure that it focuses on Excel. So I'm going to be improving your Excel skills as well. And so when we look at our schedule, the first couple of weeks of this course are to enhance your Excel skills. Some of it could be a little bit of review, and I've done this for a couple of years now, and it seems like maybe the first day is a review, but then it starts speeding up really fast, okay? So if you come out of this course, not knowing how to set up Excel spreadsheets to solve accounting problems, I have failed, okay? That is a core objective that I want to make sure that you know how to do, and also how to use it to deal with data analytics, okay? So I think the rest of this I'm going to talk about more in our first Zoom session, which will be, of course, on the 24th, okay? So I just want to make sure everybody, give you a heads up about Microsoft Office, making sure you have that, and also that the ebook will be on the Canvas page, and you should have that as part of inclusive access. So everybody should have that. Let me just kind of look at the schedule really quickly. Okay. Look at this. So I have it set up by week. So the first week, we'll be doing some Excel fundamentals. You will be in some groups, and so I know we're going to be online, but it's very possible that you could be a remote work situation once you start your career after Mary Washington. So you're going to have to learn to work in a remote group. Okay, so I'm still going to do groups. It's going to be groups of 2. Okay, but you can see we do a lot of Excel all the way down there. Then we start going into week 4. So about a month is when we'll start going into Microsoft Access. We'll do some SQL. And then we start after about 6 weeks, a month and a half or so, that's when we start going into the data analytics textbook. Okay, chapters 1, chapter 2, we start doing some labs there. And then we move on to chapter 4. And then here, chapter 7 is on managerial accounting. And then we do a lot of, like I was saying earlier, a very in-depth analysis of how we can use data analytics in a managerial accounting context. And then also looking at balanced scorecard issues, and then continuing on with some labs. And then we'll look at chapter 8, where we do some financial statement analysis in Excel. And then we will have a guest lecturer towards the end of the semester, Jason Ackerman, who's always kind enough to talk to my AIS class every year. Okay. And then we'll have our final exam during final exam week. Okay. So I think that one of the things about this class that a lot of students like is that it's very practical. I don't go into a whole lot of theory. I am trying to get you some solid, tangible skills that you can use on day one of your first job. Because on day one of your first job, you will use Excel. You have to know how to use Excel. So we're going to be going over a lot of that. And like I said earlier, I think data analytics are really starting to creep into accounting. It's going to be something you have to know. And so I'm introducing it to you now. Okay. So with that, let me go back and just kind of hit any other highlights of the modules. I think we should be good after that. And we will go over more details on the first Zoom. And again, keep in mind that you should have your textbook through access to the ebook. I think I said Connect initially. It's just actually an ebook. It's not the whole Connect homework system. It's just the ebook, and I did that because it was cheaper for you. But you should have access to that through inclusive access. Okay. So with that, I'm going to conclude, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 24th. Thanks so much. Bye.